What is going on here? Why is Matt?
Coach Rhule's here.
What is Matt Rhule?
Come on in. Put the headset on. Here, Sip, give him yours.
Yeah.
Slide one over.
We got a special guest. This is a surprise here for the stool today. Out of nowhere. We got Matt Rhule, head coach Nebraska, is in the coach.
You can sit for 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Good morning,
2 minutes.
Coach. How are you? How's the off season going?
Listen,
listen,
what all season?
I mean,
man?
you're
This is
busy heck in June, I guess.
Yeah,
right
June
now.
is like Bill. They ruined June, man.
Trust me. We've talked about on the show numerous times, Coach, about the pure torture of June. Matter of fact, we talked about the head coach schedule today, about between your schedule of new legislation going on, your team, new team you're trying to create. That's an overload.
Yeah, we're not going to make you talk because your voice is a little rough.
Yeah, well, we had they did a great job yesterday. We had the camp, she got game for all the young ladies.
Oh yes,
and we were able to get high school girls there yesterday. Now we have youth camp today. So today 2 sessions today, and then 2 sessions again next week. So we're getting after it, which is good though.
You're getting coffeeed up at the mill.
Yeah, man, I live right here. I live right here on 10th and O. So I walk over. People don't.
Would you be willing to come on every day? Is there something that you'd be able to do?
Actually, I got a lot of things to say.
If you please, every Friday, at least before a game, Coach, we'd love to have you. It'd be a riot.
That'd be great. That would be fun. Yeah. People don't know that. Obviously, this is the home of 93.7, the ticket. But this is my favorite coffee shop right here. So
the mill,
unbelievably friendly, and I have dogs. I have 3 big dogs, and we can sit outside and have coffee. So
these are things I didn't know. You have 3 big dogs. What kind of dogs?
I'm a person. I have 2 big dogs and 1 little one. I have a big Presa Canario, like it's a Spanish Mastiff. It looks like a cane corso. Nala, and she comes to the building sometimes, walks around with me, and then I have Roxy, who's a German Shepherd. Then we have a little Eddie, who's Jack.
So coaches can have dogs legally.
Yes, I have daughters, dogs. I watch TV.
Yeah, it does all kinds of stuff. This is incredible. Drinks coffee.
Wait a second, he'd fit in on the stool very well because we often talk about our dog.
Yeah,
I judge people in the world based. There's dog people and not dog people.
We have one problem in this room right now.
We have a problem. I don't have a problem. Jake's the problem.
No, you don't have to have a dog. I'm saying people who don't like dogs. And then you better have a great story, like I got bit. Something. Then I'm fine with that.
I got bit once, but
don't try making stuff up.
I love dogs, though. I don't have one. I love dogs. No, I never said I didn't like dogs.
You've never known you're going to get one.
I love Poland.
Jake's fine.
He's fine.
No, Jake's fine.
Ridiculous.
He's fine. No, we're not calling.
So what's the topic today? What are we talking about today?
We had all kinds of things going on today. But while you're here, the hottest topic going, can you hit it a little bit on just your thoughts and what's going through with Troy Dannon and the settlement? And it sounds like it's a lot, but then there's a lot of gray area with it. Is there anything you could add from someone that we're just sitting out here in a studio? You live it every day.
It's like implementing a whole new tax code, and there's 700 pages, but they've only sent you 100. I don't even know when there's going to be. I think one portal. I don't even know when it's going to be, which obviously affects I think the whole problem is the financial year is July 1st to June 30th, but the season ends in January, and so is the portal in January. You're going to get kids being paid by 2 different universities in the same year, which it does not happen in the NFL. The NFL, there's a league year, and the financial year starts over. So it's just, and it's because they're trying to do it for all sports. If you think about the NFL, you can carry your money over. So I have a salary cap of $240 million. If I spend $230, I carry 10 over. I have an advantage the next year. That does not exist as of right now in this model. So all the advantages of being a well thought out team are not necessarily there, though there'll be some. So we're just trying to figure out, hey, when's the portal? Because you want to time out your payments with that. So yeah, I mean, right now there's a lot of like hurry up and wait, like wait till they tell us this, wait till they tell us that. But at least it's progress. At least, hopefully, I mean, this year in college sports, there are $17 million basketball rosters. There's basketball rosters. There are $17 million. Sometimes people will say something. I'm sure people say things about me, LOL. But they'll say something about Fred. I'm like, well, he doesn't have a $17 million roster, so leave him alone. Like, there's going to be 7. So that what's going to happen those things are going to shrink if the NIL market value measure comes into effect. So it's going to be really, really interesting over the next, couple months. Like June 23rd, we're planning on going on vacation as coaches and getting away a little bit. And I have a feeling I'll be like sitting on the beach with like this huge book, reading like all the new rules because it's my job to know them.
Yeah.
We're lucky. Troy's one of those guys in college sports who's like an influencer. He's got a lot to say, so he usually knows things ahead of time. So I'm blessed to have him, in front of me to kind of lead the way.
How much does your general manager help in this world?
Oh, it's night and day because, at the end of the day, what's happened now is that players and parents have begun to associate the amount you pay them with the way you think about them, and there's really two different things. Like, I can love and care for you. I can believe that you're a wonderful person. I can believe that you're going to be a great player someday, but there's only so much money. And if you have a good team, you have to kind of pay everybody. So you might feel like you're worth $400,000, but we might have you slotted, not because of you, but because of your position, and you're at $140,000. And so that can be very, very emotional. It's like when I go through my contract stuff, I don't have those conversations. I mean, I might have them in a very, it's an agent who does it because, Troy or whichever AD I have might have to say like, well, Matt hasn't won this game. He hasn't won that game. And if you said it to my face, I'd get very upset and angry. It's better to have a proxy there. So the GM for me is the proxy in terms of the conversations.
Yes.
And Pat is brilliant, right? He's been doing this forever. So he's basically, hey, this is the salary cap, 1 year, 5%. He can figure it all out in terms of the value and deal with agents. There's agents now. So it's a whole new ballgame.
This is wonderful.
Is it when you run into do kids understand that when they talk about the values, coach, of that a left guard's not the same as a pass rusher, and the positions are different?
Yeah, the kids understand.
The kids understand that because you all know in the draft, like, well, I love that everyone's a first rounder, but 80 guys think they're a first round draft pick when we all know that 10 pass rushers are going to go, left tackles, quarterbacks. Do kids understand that now?
Maybe a couple do, but for the most part, I'd say no. Like I'd say every year that I've been a college coach, both head coach and assistant, and Bill, you'd know this better than me. Most kids, I'll say like, hey, coming up to the draft, they're about to get drafted. Hey, they're like, oh, my agent says I'm this, and I've rarely had a guy drafted where the agent says. It's always later, because you could be worthy of a second round grade. They might say, hey, you're a second round grade, but there might be 50 guys who have that grade, and they can't draft 50 guys in the second round. And so you always end up sliding later. Like, I went out to Ty Robinson's house during the third round of the draft, and hoping he'd get drafted in the third round. And I was actually texting back and forth with Howie Roseman. And I was like, you need to take him here. And they traded out of that pick. I think they probably would have taken it, traded out of that pick. There's so many moving parts. And so, Ty doesn't get drafted that night. He ends up getting drafted the next morning. And it worked out perfectly for him because he's in the best place for him. But you always go a little later than maybe you thought. And I think it's the same thing here. Like, you have all these people in your ear telling you stuff, and you employ them. So they are telling you what you want to hear. I don't know that our guys understand that. A lot of our guys still don't, I tell our guys when the portal opens, you want to make decisions about money, then you better understand money. I get up in front of them, I say, hey, if person A makes $300,000 in Lincoln, Nebraska, and person B makes $200,000 in Lincoln, Nebraska, that's $100,000 difference. And after taxes and take home pay, what's the difference between what they make? And they'll all say $100,000. I'm like, no, it's like a $60,000 difference, because they don't understand the money and taxes and so it's just so many things happening. My job is to try to educate them, but it's hard.
So you are the head coach. You have summer camps. You have a new tack.
I'm getting angry text from Ed Foley right now. Where are you?
Okay, one more question.
But technically, you could be late because you are the head coach. So.
Yeah, but on the youth camp, my first job is to take pictures with it. I take pictures with every.
You better
go.
Yeah. Well, I kind of lost my train of thought. But what I was thinking out loud. You have camps. You have this new tax code to learn. I always forget. Now we were talking on Sunday. I almost forgot. Yeah, you have a team to coach. What's June like? And do you ever have that thought in your head? Is what, I do a lot of things that don't even pertain to my own team in the summer.
Yeah, I make sure. I've always.
Do you know what I'm saying?
100%. No, I think you're exactly. Like, I've seen a lot of coaches who use June purely for recruiting. I will not let us run our camps as an afterthought. To me, a camp, number one, is I'll get to our team in a second, but our camp, I send out this long message to our coaches like, the way we run our camp is indicative of who we are as a coaching staff.
Yep.
The intentionality, the attention to detail, all those things. And those kids are coming. There'll be some guys that'll be, worthy of playing at Nebraska, and you'll find some diamonds in the rough. Last year, we, at our team camp, Connor Shutt, he ended up walking on from Newman. He's going to be an unbelievable player. It's 4'5".
You got him at rush in now?
Yeah, we kind of moved him back and forth, and he wanted to stay at rush out. He's 240 pounds. He's going to be 250. He's runs 4'5", can jump 38 inches, explosive. So you find diamonds in the rough. You find guys like that, but there's a lot of kids that will never play for Nebraska. It's their chance to be there. So we take that seriously. We take the official visit seriously. Like, if the parents want to stay out and talk, I'm going to stay out and talk till the last parent's done. With our team, I think a lot of coaches neglect that. I do not want to neglect that. So we do football-based things like 3 times a week, and I trust our coaches. The great thing is I don't feel like I have to be there watching everybody. Like Dana Holgerson doesn't need Matt Rhule watching him to do an elite job. Eck doesn't need that. Certainly Butler doesn't need it. Snow. I mean,
those are veteran guys. Yeah.
Snow's been telling me to leave him alone for 12 years, 13 years. Like, I know what I'm doing. So, but I can still be around. What it allows me to do, and having a great strength coach like Corey, I can go down the lifts and I can be fun Matt. Like I always tell the guys, there's Coach Rhule and there's Matt. And when a fight breaks out of practice, Coach Rhule has to yell, but Matt kind of smiles inside, right?
Yeah.
Like there's different sides. I get to be mad a little bit, and I think that's important that they see me. I go sit in the meal rooms. Like today, I'm taking a couple guys golfing. I'm the worst golfer you've ever seen, but I'm taking Bodie Sukup's a scratch golfer, Heinrich's an elite golfer, Rhule. They took some of our recruits out this week, and I'll take them out today for a little bit. That's a lot of time, but I think it's an important investment, both into the football of the team, but also just into the relationships that you build in the summer. I think now, especially when guys are getting paid, the relational part is more important than ever because they need to know that their head coach cares.
One last, I just got to ask, Coach, what's it like? I just got the tail end of the NIL part of it. What do you feel it's like in the locker room? Because there's definitely now there because you've been in the NFL locker rooms. Everyone knows if you're all of a sudden you're a 4th round pick and you go to the NFL like that, this is what you're going to make. And these guys are making more, and that's just what it is. What do you feel locker rooms are like? Because they're very more NFL-ish now because there actually is people getting paid.
I think the biggest difference is in the NFL, everyone's getting paid and everyone's getting paid a lot. Just some are more than others. In college, not everyone's getting paid. In fact, very few are getting paid. And then only a few are getting paid significantly. So that can tear locker rooms apart. I think it is everywhere. I think, on our last visit, our players engulfed they were working out Friday morning in the competition. They engulfed the recruits. Hey, we want you to come here. It was so powerful that we had kids say, I've been on all these visits. I've never seen anything like that. So I think we worked very hard to create a special culture that's hey, we all want to eat, but we eat what we kill in this program. And I'll point out to them hey, John Butler makes over $1 million. And his defensive QC makes probably 40,000. And you know what? They both want to make $1 million. And Noah works the same amount of hours, works just as hard, has the same standard of work. If they're both not good enough, I'm going to light them up. They both have everything's the same, except at the end of the day, he makes this and he makes that because of their roles. And so instead of Noah complaining about it, he just has to go through the process and get to there. We try our best. I think we're doing it pretty well, to be quite honest. Every once in a while, you have someone who can't handle it, and they have to go in the portal. You can make a ton of money in the portal, but we had a lot of guys that went into the portal this past year for good reasons that got made a certain amount of money, and then at the end of spring are not making that money anymore. Either got cut or some of the kids that would have gotten cut, but the 105 didn't go through. And so I'm just always warning our players, be careful with fast money, because fast money, So it can definitely ruin the locker room, Bill. I think you have to work at it. You have to be very intentional with it. And, you have to make sure that when you bring a guy in for a high dollar number, he's the right type of person. We don't need a bunch of Ferrari driving, Lamborghini driving guys. We need a bunch of blue collar guys. And I think, when your star players, forget the money, when your star players, the Dillons, the Jacory's, now Emmett's, those guys, when they're good guys. I walk out the girls' camp yesterday, and I got Emmett Johnson out there. I've got Keona Davis out there. Got Dillon's out there. And they posted, I'm sure, Dillon talking to the girls. He doesn't just talk and leave. We don't. So someone said something to me the other day, Dillon gets paid to go. Dillon does not get paid by anyone to go to these local high schools to talk. Dillon does not get paid to come to camp. Dillon does not get paid to do anything. In fact, when Dillon goes those things, he sees me. He's got me in his ear, ripping him about, hey, why, make sure these guys do this, make sure these guys do that. It's more a cultural thing, and we're lucky to have, I think, that. So I talk along.
Wow. No, that's great.
Well-
You just wrote a column for me. I needed that. I needed a Sunday column.
You need a Sunday column, and now he's got
So
it.
why do you have McDonald's coffee if the mill's right?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great
They're
question.
not open when we get here.
Okay. And you know what?
Yeah.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, thank
Well,
you.
here's what I was gonna say.
I saw you struggling.
That is I do believe on the road, that is the best coffee when you're out recruiting, McDonald's coffee.
There it is. The
Well,
nugget.
I do
Thanks,
that.
guys.
Coach, thanks for the
Thanks,
surprise
Coach.
visit.
Hey, thanks for coming
that's-
in.
yeah, thanks,
Coffee
Matt.
coffee better be free, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
Front of the house.
Hey, put it on us. Put it on us at the bill.
That's on us. All right.
Wow, that was
Surprise
nice.
visit from Matt Rhule in studio. That was nice.
That
I
was
bet you
nice.
wish you had a dog, Jake.
Oh,
I
we're sorry.
I got a glare today. I
You're
got a very stern glare.
Well, it's time.
I never was opposed to talking.
No,
I
you're
just don't
not.
have.
I know you're not. You've
Now-
always been very kind to Bullet and kind to Sugar.
Right. I love when Sugar visits. I haven't seen Bullet for a long time.
She has been down.
She has
Sugar has
here.
been in the studio 3 or 4 times.
Bring her back.
It's been.
Have them both come down.
I love
Bullet
when
and
Sugar
Sugar.
visits.
Hope you enjoyed that surprise visit from Matt Rhule. Bill's Thrills is next. An early break on the ticket.